So I didn't want to offend anyone in the room by them thinking that I was making fun of Simon's accent, although for the poor man from SASA earlier, my undergraduate degree is a double major in mathematics and statistics, and I taught probability and statistics for engineers for 6 semesters. I'm violently offended by putting down statistics. So this is actually, it's an interesting, for those of you who haven't seen me up here, I have a propensity to be a little theatrical sometimes. I am keeping all of my clothes on. And for those of you that are interested, you can go out and Google what I'm talking about. Just Google MES and Kevin Hooper and you'll get an eyeful of it. Thanks to some of our friends in the front row, is now on Google. But apparently got brought up this morning for some strange reason. But anyway, so Kevin Hooper, I have been around this particular event for far too many years for me to actually want to discuss. It's across 3 different companies. I was with IBM for a while, I was with HP for a while, and now I'm with NEC. Who is familiar with NEC? Okay, so not enough of you, but more than I expected. NEC, for all practical purposes, is the functional equivalent of IBM in domestic Japan. Many of you may have heard of the company and just have a sort of vague idea of what they do. They started about 115 years ago with the first trans-Pacific cable to link Japan and the United States for telephones. In 1963, they set up the first satellite to do the first video feed directly from the United States to Japan. Unfortunately, it was supposed to be a presentation by, a speech by a then young, dynamic President of the United States, and it turned into the televisation of his funeral in 1963. But we've been in this business of the collision of IT and communications for a significant amount of time. Currently today, what we are focused on as a company, and I work for NECAM, the NEC Corporation of America, which is the wholly owned subsidiary of NEC that operates here in the United States and has been operating continuously since 1963. We specifically focus on where technology ends and human beings start. Now this is really sort of interesting in the last 7 or 8 days or so because as Ellen DeGeneres said, those guys at Apple are really, really innovative. I've been looking at the time on my phone forever and now they've suddenly come up with this idea of putting it on my wrist. The notion of interacting humans with technology is really what is causing a lot of the business problems that I know you guys are dealing with every day. Our Solutions for Society, the moniker that we have, is focusing on how we can take technology and communications and bring those technologies and communications together to solve key business problems that you're dealing with every day. I'm getting through the marketing portion of this fairly quickly so we can get to the meat and the fun of this presentation. Our integrated solutions come in a variety of flavors, but they are really functionally developed so that you can use the infrastructure that you have today. You can purchase infrastructure from us, or you can purchase infrastructure from other people and still derive the value from that, from those solutions and those capabilities. We've got a suite of services that are much, much simplified from the notion of a services guy sitting next to you with a lawyer and coming out with a 36-page contract that if you read it at the bottom means the first time that you show up and miss a meeting, suddenly you're being charged just as much as that guy who did all of the lovely work on your kitchen last year is doing. All right? We have a number of simplified ways in which we can interact with you from the services perspective. But at the end of the day, all of these solutions that you have, all of the things that you're dealing with as mid-sized companies, and when I talk about mid-sized companies, I'm not going to talk to you about large, I'm not going to talk to you about small, I'm going to talk to you about the kinds of companies that you are because this is where I spent the last 20 years of my career. Securing what you do is paramount. Whether it is securing what you do from an infrastructure perspective and protecting yourself from nice people in certain parts of the world that want to use your service to advertise for certain pharmaceuticals that no one wants to admit that they actually use. Although, as my son said to me, watching football on a Saturday afternoon, Dad, Can you explain to me what that commercial means? And I'm like, no. Don't talk to me. Whether you're talking about that kind of security or you're talking about physical security, where you're trying to protect your building, your manufacturing plant, your hospital, the patients that are in your hospital, whether you're physically doing that, you're really focused on securing your business and protecting your business going forward. So what we're here at this show talking about specifically is a lot of IT and analytics behind it, but at the front end, using computer systems and using cameras to do that which you do every day. And to illustrate this, and this is the first in my career, although for much of the last 20 or over years I have wanted to do this on stage, let's watch a little bit of a video.
These guides about our equipment, 007. I don't suppose you find it funny enough thing.
Indeed I do.
This 3D visual identigraph is still in the experimental stage. Now, once we get a composite from there, we could find a match by fetching into the photographic files the surrogate for CIA, the Mossad,
And it was she told us over and over 5 times.
Thank you, 007. Right. Now describe the person you wish to identify, and I'll program the information.
Male Caucasian, late 30s. Hair fine, light brown. That's it. Husband.
Here, wait a minute. Right.
Eyes. A little soft. Blue. A little grey. That's it. Nose. Nose doesn't argue. Soft. Lips fuller. Whoops. No, mouth wide. Good. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Sharon. You could go on now.
I reckon we're almost there, you, apart from the boxes. Steel rim.
Yeah.
Octagonal. That's him. That's our man.
Right. I'll try and get a match.
All right, anyone remember which movie that was from? Okay, so I'm the only person in the entire, that I actually carried this on my iPad. That was For Your Eyes Only, 1981. Right, everyone catch the Winchester hard-packed disc? You remember those? Yeah, you don't need Tylenol and codeine now for your back because having to carry those things around. Think about, so that was a Hollywood representation of biometrics identification in 1981. All right. What I invite you to come and look at our booth is what we call the NeoFace Watch Challenge. We're going to invite you to come and have your picture taken with a wireless device. It looks like a camera. It's just a Wi-Fi camera, very cheap, very inexpensive. And the minute that we have programmed you into the system, which will take 3 or 4 seconds, then there's a live video feed. And this is the most sophisticated that it gets. That live video feed, as each one of you walks through that live video feed, and it will be obvious because it will be a bloody great TV, bigger than my arm span. When you walk in front of that live video feed, if it doesn't identify your name, we'll give you an iPad. Is that interesting? I'm sorry, is that interesting? All right, okay. This is a real-time system. All right, you'll see it. It's running off a laptop. Yes, it is driving a big bloody TV, but it's running off of a laptop, and it will identify you no matter whether you're looking straight at it, straight on, walking through. We do have a couple of rules. You're not allowed to use a mask. Now, believe me, we actually had someone come up and they were very nice the first day, and back in those days, about a year ago, we used to have to take pictures tonight and then we would run it tomorrow during the solutions. And when they came back, they actually had a full mask on, which they fully admitted, given that they worked for a hospital, that if they came in wearing that same mask, it wouldn't matter if the system called them because the security guard would escort them out of the hospital. But as long as the only thing we ask is if you have very, very thick glasses, we're going to take your picture with them not on, and then we'll ask you to walk through the video feed without them on. But everything else is fair game. Right? To prove to you that with very affordable hardware, very affordable software, you will be able to see real-time video feed and not have to have Q type everything. Okay. I do have a question in a second. I'll take it at the end. All right. So, what I want you to think about is not just about the technology. Think about the solutions that you can put in place using that technology. Whether it's VIP identification, which is or secure area monitoring, or looking at the next level down. If it knows that it's Kevin Hooper, can it then pick out that Kevin Hooper is a white Caucasian male between the ages of, let's say, 45 and 55, which is really important because the Japanese system that it was originally based on embarrassed the heck out of my Japanese colleagues because it pegged me as over 65, primarily because grey hair. Okay, so we operate these solutions all over the world. Okay, anyone watch the World Cup? Everyone watch the World Cup? You know, it's that sporting event that is had every 4 years, and they invite other countries to participate. That one. 6 of the 8 stadiums that we use were protected by this technology in hand in glove with local law enforcement. Near-face recognition, near-face and facial recognition is what you're going to see demonstrated on the big TV. The other thing that we can do is something called field analyzing, which will also, which will also identify not just you personally, but will track you and start asking questions and tracking information about what you're looking at, where you're standing, where you're spending most of your time. And then we have a series of analytical solutions behind that to feed back that information. So think about this within the context of tailgating. Think about this in the context of loss prevention. Think about this in the context of a neonatal unit at a hospital where you don't want to embarrassingly ask all of the distraught parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles to come and have a wristband put on the radio frequency ID, but you can take a video field and identify in real time there's people coming through that are authorized. This is not pattern recognition. This is actually very similar to what Q did with James Bond in that video clip. First of all, it takes the capture. Then it breaks down the face and identifies you as a human being. Because typically human beings have eyes, they have noses, they have mouths, they have chins, they have tops of their heads, they have connected to their neck. Then they take that and using a series of algorithms, break it down so that we only need 116 pixels in between the eyes to identify and create a match. And then the last part, this is what I want all of you to start asking the questions as you come by the booth, as you're trying to win the iPad, is about the reaction. Those little devices that we use to register you, every time you come back into that field of view, not only will it have your name above your head in the real-time video feed, but it will also send an alert to those devices. Add those to a series of analytical solutions that are focused on any one of a number of things that you can use analysis for to use predictive algorithms. And suddenly, you've got a way of securing your business and managing your business that is really pulling ourselves into the second decade of the 21st century. I'm going to talk about one case study. And this case study is not meant for all of you to sit there and say, well, I'm nowhere near the types of issues that these guys deal with. This is more to show you that in one of the toughest environments on the face of the planet, an amusement park, this facial recognition system is being used and used today to identify VIPs, to exit, to allow you to enter into the right queue so that you can get to your ride more quickly. And lastly, linked with your smartphone is allowing you not to have to carry money at this amusement park. So think about that capability within the context of the issues you're dealing with from a security perspective in your own business. Lastly, we're absolutely committed to this. Please come by the booth. The last 2 times we did this, we didn't give away any iPads. Well, we got 3. It says up there 2 is a mistake. We have 3. It's down there, sitting there with someone in this room's name. So with that, thank you very much for your time.
Nice job, Kevin. Thank you. Thanks to all the presenters. You guys did a great job. To Eddie, Simon, Kevin.